Hi CS13 students, hope you are doing good out there. In today's lab, we are going to be learning functions in C++ programming. In the previous two labs, we saw the concept of loops and arrays. So if you have missed those videos, you can check them out. So coming towards back to functions. Functions are the most important concept in C++ procedural programming. And it has been implemented in almost all other programming languages. Here is the outline of today's lab. So the very basic question is that why functions are so important in programming languages? The answer to this question is that when we write some program other than functions, we are actually performing some tasks, some computations based on the statements written in that program. So we can use functions to perform those tasks. So function is more sounding and more related to real-world concept than to simple write programs. Apart from that, functions provides high degree of reusability for your application. For example, if you write a code for some purpose and if you need the same functionality again somewhere else in your application, you don't need to write it again, rather you can just create a function for once. Afterwards, your job is to simply call that function to use that code. So we can say that functions provide high degree of reusability and makes program easier to read and understand. So let's define the formal definition of functions. Functions in C++ are a group of statements that together perform a task. Like variables, functions has also a unique name that perform a specific task. By default, every C++ program execution starts from the main function. Depending on whether a function is predefined or created by a user, there are two types of functions. Those are built-in functions and user-defined functions. Built-in functions are those functions that are defined in the compiler. We can say that the main function of the C++ program is the example of built-in function. Built-in functions are also called as library functions or predefined functions. The next type is user-defined functions. User-defined functions are those functions that are written by the user according to its requirements. If the user wants to add two numbers, he can simply write a program with the name sum, or if he wants to find the greatest number from an array, he can write a user-defined function. Here is the important thing to remember is that functions are always written with parentheses. That is, after the name of that function, parentheses must be written. So there are three things that you need to remember before using functions in your programming. Those are function declaration, function definition, and function call. Function declaration tells compiler about that there exists a function with a given return type, name, and set of parameters. Function declaration does not include the body of the function. Here is the example of function declaration with the name of the function max having return type integer with two parameters enclosed within a round bracket. There are four things to remember about function definition: return type, function name, list of parameters, and the body of the function. Return type is the data type of the value that the function returns. Some functions perform operations without returning a value. In such case, the return type is void. Function name is the actual name of the function. To call a function, the function name is used. The parameters is like a placeholder. When the function is called, you pass a value to the parameters. The parameter list refers to the type, order, and number of parameters of a function. Parameters are optional, that it means function may contain no parameters. The body of the function contains the collection of statements that defines what the function does. Once the function has been declared and defined, now it's time to call that function. Functions can be called by simply using their function name with the necessary arguments passed inside the round brackets. When a program calls a function, the control of the program is transferred to the called function. A called function performs defined tasks, and when its return statement is executed, it returns program control back to the main program. Now let's move to dev C++ and try to make our first program using function. अब हम dev C++ में फंक्शन को इम्प्लीमेंट करके देखेंगे। तो इसके लिए पहले मैं ये करता हूँ कि पहले सिंपल प्रोग्राम लिखता हूँ और फिर उसको हम फंक्शन में कन्वर्ट करते हैं ताकि आपके लिए आसानी हो जाए। तो मैं पहले दो नंबर्स को ऐड कर लेता हूँ। बस 14 आ गया। अब मैं इसको फंक्शन के थ्रू करके देखता हूँ। सबसे पहले हम फंक्शन को क्या करेंगे, फंक्शन को डिक्लेयर करेंगे। मैं ऐड ले लेता हूँ और इसके अंदर दो एन टाइप के आर्गुमेंट्स ले लेता हूँ, साथ में सेमीकोलन। यहाँ पर मैं सेम नेम के साथ इस फंक्शन को सेम रिटर्न टाइप और सेम नेम के साथ इसको यहाँ पे डिफाइन कर लेता हूँ। तो ये मैंने यहाँ पे डिफाइन कर लिया। यहाँ पे हमने इसे डिक्लेयर करी विद सेम नेम और सेम रिटर्न टाइप। अब इस फंक्शन का रिलेशन हमने इस मेन प्रोग्राम के साथ बनाना है। अब ये फंक्शन स्टैंड अलोन है, ये अभी कॉल नहीं हो रहा, तो ये हमारे किसी काम के नहीं है। तो हम इस फंक्शन को यहाँ से कॉल करेंगे। और एक बात यहाँ पे और कि जब हम फंक्शन को कॉल करते हैं तो उसके साथ हम रिटर्न टाइप नहीं लिखते। सो ये हमारे पास आ गया 14। तो इस तरह हमने पहला प्रोग्राम बनाया जिसमें हमने फंक्शन को देखा कि कैसे काम करता है।